just recognize that you deserve compassion as much as anybody else does in this moment. What you're feeling and experiencing as a result of being incapacitated by an injury is so natural and so human, and we put so much pressure on ourselves to be perfect even in our illness, to be less of a burden. And we are put in the position that we have to rely on other people. Not only is it deeply uncomfortable, but it forces us to be vulnerable, forces us to put ourselves in position where subconsciously we might be feeling like being ill and being a burden means that we're less lovable, or that it's going to be a challenge to love us. And the thoughts and feelings that come up as a result of these things, really just your subconscious default mode and beliefs that can take a literal lifetime to rewire. Some of those things are so deeply rooted in our subconscious and in our body that even if we're in active therapy or we're actively using different modalities, can come up again and again and again. And it quite often comes up when we're not able to hold all of the balls in the air on our own. And that fucking sucks. So first, make sure that you are giving yourself the grace and compassion that you would give to a loved one. Allow yourself the grace and compassion to feel what you're feeling. And you might be feeling angry. You might be feeling guilty. You might feel guilt that you're not able to be at 100% capacity like you normally are. And then you feel guilty that the load is on your partner or other people in your life. And that guilt is normal. But again, just acknowledge it. Attention to the feelings that come up and the thought patterns that just eat away at your well-being and your happiness. And when you notice that they're there, catch them and be like, okay, is this true? Is what I'm thinking and feeling actually true? Do I have proof of that? Speak gently, the way that you would to a child who needs a little bit of softness, and you need softness. You are healing. You need softness. And acknowledge that you feel disappointed or whatever it is. Injuries or illness that put you out of, like your typical routine feel very derailing, and they can feel really demoralizing, and it doesn't necessarily make sense because you're like, I know logically I'm healing. I know logically my body needs this. I know logically my mind needs this, but it can feel incredibly derailing. So really, I would just recommend acknowledging what's present for you, whether you do this verbally, whether you do this into a book, whether you voice note yourself, but just get everything out. And then look at all of that from a little bit of a distance, and look at it through the eyes of a friend. If you had a friend who came to you and said all of these things, what they're thinking and feeling about themselves, you would no doubt be shocked and horrified, and you would probably want to provide them safe space, safe affirmations, safe language. You would probably want to be loving and show them that what they're thinking is not necessarily what is true and real in front of them. Tools that I use pretty consistently, almost daily, if not daily, are breathwork, tapping, and movement. I recognize movement isn't actually possible often when we're healing, but it could just be, you might be in bed. In terms of movement, you might be in bed, pop some music on and just like shimmy your shoulders. It's just about interrupting the spiraling thoughts and the deep dive into like all of the reasons why you're a shit person. Power of dance, like you could just throw your arms in the air, you could do lots of shimmying, you could sing. These are ways to interrupt the thought spiral and also shift the energy and the emotion to move up and out of your body. In terms of breath work, I would say, unless you've done the more intensive ones with facilitators, probably steer clear of doing anything intensive in that realm. But you can do simple techniques like box breathing. If you're not familiar, that's like breathe in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, breathe out for a count of 4, and hold for a count of 4. And do that on like a gentle looping cycle until you start to feel more grounded and centered in your body. Alternatively, you can do like breathe in for a count of 6 and hold for a couple of seconds, and then breathe out for a count of 8. And this is really good for taking you out of flight and fright and things like that, and bringing you back into a more centered space. Emotional freedom technique, that's about acknowledging like the thoughts and beliefs and behaviors that are present that you're conscious of, and acknowledging them, forgiving them, releasing them, and rewiring. I'll try and show you a very quick version of what that might look like, but it can really help to identify the emotions and thoughts and behaviors that are coming up as a result. Like, have them on a piece of paper. You can script something for yourself to make it really tailored, or if you want, I can do one for you. Just want to tap through the meridian points, the energy points, and you just want to be like, my injury has shown me a lot of behaviors and beliefs that make me feel deeply uncomfortable. I'm realizing that I feel deeply uncomfortable to receive help. I'm realizing that I feel deeply uncomfortable being vulnerable. I'm recognizing and noticing that there is a lot of shame present in this moment. I'm noticing and acknowledging that I'm experiencing a lot of grief in this moment. Recognizing and acknowledging that healing feels deeply uncomfortable for me. Tapping on your wrists. For all of this, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. And you might want to go another round through on acknowledging that. So you might want to be like, I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept the parts of me that feel uncomfortable to receive. I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive anyone who has contributed to the feelings that are present for me today. And you just want to keep going through. You might only want to acknowledge those like heavier emotions once or twice. And then you want to start rewiring and changing how you feel. So you might want to utilize affirmations in this moment, or you might just want to create a sense of safety in your body and just want to be like, I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept my body as it is. I am so deeply grateful for everything my body does for me. I am in deep trust that my body is healing exactly as it needs to. I love my body. I love me. And you just want to keep doing that until you start to actually feel a shift in your emotional body, and you will feel it. It might take 15 minutes, but when you're in this like heavy state of frustration and like feeling all of these things and throwing them outward, it can be really powerful in just taking that 15 minutes for yourself and being like, okay, like I'm safe, I'm loved, I'm healing, everything is happening the way it's meant to.